What's up, everybody? It's Josh coming at you from Nerd Ventures Tower, and we've got new clips for Multiverse of Madness, a description of the first 15 to 20 minutes of the film, which was aired at CinemaCon. And I also want to talk about the new reveals from some of these TV spots. And wee-wah, Marvel fans, this is future Josh coming in after we've already edited this video, because Marvel just dropped another 15-minute TV spot for this movie that is the most revealing one yet, and I want to show you what's going on in this. It's bananas. Talking about him, the Illuminati will see you now. You get a shot of Wong. That's Captain Marvel there. Rambo as Captain Marvel. We get our first look at Haley Atwell as Captain Carter with some kind of jetpack-like stuff going on there. Absolute insanity. And then you get the first look at Professor Xavier, Charles Xavier's hand on the yellow seat. Now, this is something that we had been hearing for some time. This is very much akin to the yellow chair that he has in the 90s X-Men show and in certain parts of Marvel Comics. But yeah, man, 3 massive reveals and teases in this trailer. Here's a better shot of it right here. Definitely Charles Xavier on the yellow chair. Then you've got Captain Carter with the jetpacks. Like, what the heck is going on? And she's obviously fighting Wanda here. And then you get a pretty good shot of Captain Marvel, Rambo as Captain Marvel, going to be absolutely nuts. And wow, Marvel just keeps on dropping stuff. I hope we can actually finally upload this video and no more crazy stuff comes out. Now, back to your regularly scheduled video, which is still super hype. But before we get into all of that, I do want to say that next week is going to be a massive week for nerds, obviously with the finale of Moon Knight, with May the 4th, which hopefully has some Star Wars announcements, and with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And we're doing a ton of fun stuff over on our streaming channel throughout the week. In fact, I have a ton of different goodies that I'm going to be giving away to people over on our streams. And this will all culminate with a big spoiler stream Friday morning over on the streaming channel, where I'm going to go full on into spoilers, talking about the movie. So make sure you go check that out next week over on the streaming channel. First up, let's look at this new clip, the first official clip released for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and we'll talk about what's going on in it. This clip is obviously super awesome. Strange coming in, doesn't see exactly what's happening here with Shuma or Gargantos or whoever obviously trying to attack America Chavez. He does something crazy, some kind of a spell of reveal or something, and slowly reveals the monster. But I want to sort of pause right here because unfortunately I am going to have to talk a little bit about spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers or whatever, get on out of here. But do you see how there are little runes on the arms of Shumagora / Gargantos here? To me, this really seems like an indication that the monster is being controlled by the person who wields the Darkhold. In this case, I think Wanda. Also, just want to say that New York City looks so cool and alive and busy in this movie, and I saw some people mentioning that after they saw the first 15 minutes of the footage, which this is clipped from CinemaCon. A couple of people were talking about this online, just making mention of the fact that Sam Raimi does New York City really, really well, feeling much more like actual New York from his Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies than some of the other things we've seen out of New York City in recent MCU stuff, but pretty cool nonetheless. And here's more of just the busy streets and stuff again. Doc Strange doing something crazy here. It looks like he's like mirror dimensioning or like taking apart the freaking bus here, which is real wild. Look, even Shuma like doesn't know what to think of it. It's like, whoa, that's crazy. The people are also pretty confused by it. He uses one of the pieces there to cut off the arm. Again, you're getting a shot of the runes and the sort of glowing on Shuma there, or on Gargantos. I absolutely love how he uses the Cloak of Levitation here to save America Chavez, bringing her over to him. And then he like clamps back the freaking bus together. Super weird. Looks like he's straining to do that. Slams the bus on top of her. Has a little like kind of moment there, and then of course cuts the bus in half to save America Chavez and himself. And the clip's obviously awesome, but it's just showcasing how powerful Stephen Strange is at this point in the MCU. I mean, I don't even know what he was doing with the bus there, using the mirror dimension powers just of will and then slamming it back together, cutting off the arm of Shuma, being able to use the Cloak of Levitation like that. I think we're meant to see that Stephen is pretty freaking good at using magic in this scene. And even though it's hard to make out exactly what the runes are on the arms of Gargantos or Shuma there, I'm pretty sure they match up with rune symbols that we have seen in the Darkhold and in the shots of Darkhold Castle from within the trailers for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And this clip is from very early on in the movie, and we know that not only from the leaks, but from the first 20 minutes of footage for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness that was shown to people at CinemaCon. So now I'm going to read you a description of all of the footage that was shown at CinemaCon, and if you've been following the leaks, this will sound very familiar. It says the movie picks up with a demon chasing America Chavez and Defender Strange. This guy's a bit of a prick and gets killed, but America manages to escape to our NCU. By that guy, the person is referring to Defender Strange, something that was in the leaks and something that we've seen in the trailer sort of teased out as well. And I actually think it will be the body of Defender Strange that our Stephen possesses at the end of the actual movie, and that's that zombie Stephen Strange that we've seen in the trailers. The footage then cuts to Doctor Strange waking up and thinking it was all a dream. He then goes to Christine's wedding where he's confronted about the blip and his role in what happened by Michael Stolberg. Was that really the only way to beat Thanos? And I want to stop for a second because this is just a little line here. It's absent from many of the plot leaks and many of the reports from the movie from the past, but it's so important because small little lines of dialogue like that can really amplify the movie and have little hidden clues and just beats that are going to be very impactful to the character. I mean, that's something we're all kind of wondering, and I love that other characters are asking Steven about this. I mean, the world went through a crazy amount of trauma because of the snap and the blip, and this was all according to Steven's plan and the one scenario in which they could beat Thanos. Apparently, Strange and Christine talk at the bar. He regrets not making her a priority. She wants to introduce him to her husband. Strange is then interrupted by Shumagorath, or really I think what they'll call Gargantos, arriving in downtown New York, and Raimi really wastes no time. Strange leaps into action and saves Chavez, and Wong joins him. All three team up to battle the monster in a magic-fueled fight. It's pretty great. It says classic Raimi is back. This New York feels very much like the New York he gave us in the original Spider-Man trilogy. It's incredibly fast-paced opening and gets us into the Multiverse Madness pretty quickly. Not a second is wasted. After the monster is defeated, the three head to get some food where America Chavez introduces herself and tells that she's being hunted. There's a funny bit where Doctor Strange explains Spider-Man to her, who apparently does not exist in her home universe, and No Way Home made a huge impact on the MCU. So this is something we've heard from the leaks as well. America Chavez is agreeing to tell them what's going on, but she needs pizza. Whenever she uses her power, she gets really, really hungry. That is the power of doing the star portals that allow her to travel between universes. And I love that Spider-Man and the whole idea of the MCU is going to be explored here through the lens of somebody from a different universe. We're going to get a lot of that in the movie, but we're really going to get to see how different our universe is, the MCU main sacred timeline, from other universes out there in the Marvel multiverse. The main goal for America Chavez seems to be to find the Book of Vishanti, which Wong knows exists because he's the Sorcerer Supreme, and he takes a dig at Steven about being the Sorcerer Supreme. Now, I want to stop for a second here because we've seen shots in the trailer of where the Book of Vishanti is at. It seems to be in this weird other realm here, and of course, we've recently seen that this realm might also be home to the Living Tribunal, which is crazy, and I want to talk about that in a little bit. Now, it's said in the footage that it is explained that all of the stuff that is happening, especially around the monster, is actually not sorcery, it's witchcraft, which prompts Steven to go find and visit Wanda. Cut to Wanda, who is also dreaming of her kids. There's a WandaVision flashback, basically, but with no vision. She wakes up and is sad before she goes to her field to cut the trees, which is what we see in the trailer. She and Steven talk about the multiverse, and he asks for her help. And I've heard others say that Steven actually asks Wanda to accompany him to Kamar-Taj, but I've also heard that pretty much right after this point in the movie is when Steven is going to realize that Wanda is the one doing all of this and that she is actually the villain of the film. Oh, and by the way, the bet is still on. If Wanda is not the villain of Multiverse of Madness, I will be shaving my head live on that Friday spoiler stream, which I talked about earlier on in the video. Oh, and I also should say I made a $500 bet with insider Skylar Schuler, who runs the Diz Insider podcast, about whether or not Tom Cruise Iron Man will be in the movie. A lot of scoopers are are coming out these days saying that there's not a lot of other cameos other than the Illuminati, and that a lot of stuff that maybe at one time was going to be in the movie was removed. I still believe there's chances for other surprises that people don't know about, including Tom Cruise Iron Man. And so I made a big fat $500 bet with Skylar Schuler about Tom Cruise Iron Man being in the movie, and unfortunately I'll probably have to PayPal him $500 live on that stream as well. But now I want to talk about this shot right here, which appears to show maybe one, maybe multiple living tribunals in this weird cloud-like realm with America Chavez and Doctor Strange. Now, I don't think this will have much to do with the film. I don't think it's going to be a big thing that's lingered on. The Living Tribunal is a massive deal for Marvel, but I believe this takes place during a sequence in which the powers of America Chavez are being used by Wanda. Like Wanda is like manipulating her or something, and Steven, in order to stop that process, like sort of jumps at America Chavez, grabs her, flies through her star portal, and then is sort of taken through various different universes before finally landing somewhere else. And we've sort of even seen this play out in some of the trailers. I'm pretty confident that that is what's going on. And I also think that in this weird jumping traveling sequence is room for plenty of other crazy cameos that people may or may not know about. It's going to be like that scene in the first Doctor Strange movie where the Ancient One puts the astral projection form of Stephen Strange through different universes, except in this case, they are physically traveling through different universes, including one that we think is going to be an animated universe. But nonetheless, the Living Tribunal is a crazy big deal. It's super wild that they would just throw that into a trailer to get nerds like me talking about it. I wonder what you think about that. And I just think there's still plenty of room in this movie for all kinds of crazy surprises and things that we didn't know about. Like, to my knowledge, the Living Tribunal was not in any of the plot leaks, right? And so even though we've all, or a lot of us, have been following around with the different leaks and scoops, I think there's still plenty of surprises left for the Multiverse of Madness. But of course, let me know what you think about any or everything we talked about in this video. Like this video if you liked it. And as I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video.